This is Tales and Whispers, where every story is felt, not just heard.
Okay, so what if I told you that the most important job interview of your life might not happen in an office, and that the biggest questions, well, they might never even be asked out loud? We're about to dive into a legendary story about Henry Ford and his incredible and honestly genius way of seeing right to the core of a person's character.
It sounds a little crazy, doesn't it? You know, we spend all this time preparing answers for what's your greatest weakness. But what if the real test starts the moment you think the formal interview is over? What if the truth comes out in something as simple as how you eat your steak or how you speak to the person who brings it to your table? Let's get into it.
All right, so let's set the scene. This is not just any dinner. We're talking about a high-stakes, final round interview with one of the biggest innovators of the 20th century. The pressure is definitely on.
So the setup is pretty classic. Henry Ford needs to hire someone for a really important job in his company, and he's got it narrowed down to two final candidates who, on paper, are basically clones. They went to the same top university, have the same degree, they're both brilliant. So how in the world do you pick one?
And this is Ford's first move, and it is a masterful one. He doesn't call them into some stuffy, sterile boardroom. Nope, he invites them out to dinner. Just that change of location is a test all by itself. It signals he's looking for something way, way deeper than what you can find on a resume. So the dinner itself was actually pretty relaxed, just casual conversation about this and that, but they never talked about cars or engineering or business, nothing related to the job. And then, as the night was winding down, a decision was made. Just like that, out of nowhere. Can you picture it? They're literally walking out the door of the restaurant, and Ford just turns to one of the guys and says, "You're hired." A life-changing moment decided right there in the lobby. And in the very next breath, he turns to the second guy and lets him down. "I'm sorry, you will not be joining our team." I mean, imagine the whiplash, the total confusion. One person's career's launched, and the other's just hit a brick wall with absolutely zero explanation. And this is where the story gets really, really good. The candidate who was rejected, to his credit, finds the courage to ask the one simple question that unlocks everything. Why? And he's right. They hadn't talked about anything related to the job. The whole decision was based on something hidden in plain sight. And this, right here, is where we see the beautiful simplicity of Ford's method. He explained that his entire decision came down to two tiny, almost unnoticeable things he saw during the meal. So Ford lays it all out for him. He says his choice was based on just two things: what the candidate did with the salt shaker and how he treated the restaurant staff. Let's break down these two simple but incredibly powerful tests. Okay, first up, the steak. Both of them ordered one. Now, the guy who got the job, he took a bite first, thought about the flavor, and then he decided to add a little salt. The other guy, he sat down, picked up the salt shaker, and salted his steak before he'd even taken a single bite. Seems like a tiny thing, right? Well, to Henry Ford, that was a huge red flag. And here's why that mattered so much. Ford's thinking was this: I like people who try things before trying to change them. In that one small move, the rejected candidate showed that he makes assumptions. He acts before he actually gathers any information. He presumes he already knows the answer without even understanding the situation first. Now, the second test, this one was maybe even more telling. The candidate who was hired, he was polite to the waiters the entire time. He made eye contact, said please, said thank you, but the other guy, it was like the waiters weren't even there. To him, they were just part of the scenery, totally invisible. And this is where Ford delivered the final lesson. He told him, "You are polite only to me." A great leader must treat everyone as a human being. What a powerful message, right? Real character isn't about how you treat people who have power over you. It's revealed in how you treat the people you think can't do anything for you. So as you can see, this story is so much more than just a clever interview trick. It's really a masterclass in understanding that our smallest, most automatic habits, they broadcast the biggest truths about who we really are deep down. When you really peel it all back, you see Ford wasn't just looking for an engineer. He was searching for a mindset. That salt test, it wasn't about seasoning. It was about choosing to observe before you assume. And the waiter test wasn't just about good manners. It was about having the fundamental humility to see every single person as worthy of respect. Those were the real job requirements. It's really that simple and that profound. The little things aren't just little things. In a lot of ways, they're the only things. They're the behaviors that reveal our true programming when we let our guard down.
And that brings us to the final question, the one we should probably all ask ourselves. We all have these salt and waiter moments every single day. The way you talk to someone at a call center, how you react when someone cuts you off in traffic, or whether you really listen in a meeting before you jump in. So the question isn't if we're being tested. The real question is, what are our little moments saying about us?